Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday morning and I am up. The time is just about to turn 6 o'clock and I am about to get dressed for Pilates. This is my outfit laid out for the day. For me, it's really helpful to just lay out my clothes and just shove them on and get in the car because I don't want to think about it in the morning. So this is what I'm going to put on. It's not on the clip hangers from Amazon because this was an outfit that I put out before I got them. So it's on these. And I'm gonna get ready for the day. Okay, this is the outfit of the day. I've got an Amazon chocolate set on. I've got some Amazon leg warmers, Amazon ballet socks. This is a Varley, like, puffer gilet thing. And then my cardigan is an MPL one. I'm going to take something warmer just in case it's cold. And I've got some shoes, some trainees. These are some beige Amazon trainers because I don't care about the brand label, I care more about the colour. Oh, why are we so hot today? Good morning, everyone. We are in the car, so I feel like I can make a little bit more noise now because Ali was still in bed. I am heading out, or I was, if the gates were going to open. Hello. I am heading to Pilates. It has just gone 6 o'clock and I get up around 5 o'clock for these sessions because I know otherwise I will never do them. There will never be time enough in the day and I simply just will be too lethargic at the end of the day. And so I found a section of time in my day that I could find an instructor, sorry I'm talking at you in the dark, I could find an instructor who would accommodate me and teach me, and also an instructor that I liked, with a studio that I liked and a method that I liked. And I was very, very fortunate to find someone. So I carve out time in my day where I can. First of all, the introduction of Pilates into my workout routine has really like amped up my exercise. So I used to just do around 2 PT classes a week, and because they were scheduled in, I stuck to them. But everything around that, other than my runs, would sort of fall away. The Pilates has really amped up my results when it comes to like my abs, my muscle density, my sculpting, my butt, everything like is a combination of my Pilates and my Pilates instructor. Anyway, you can't see me, so I'm not going to talk to you about this, but I'm going to get to my Pilates class and I shall speak to you then. I am in the very dark studio with Claire this morning, and we were just saying how pretty much my entire class is in the dark at the moment, but I do think that we are going to be in possibly the best position to sit front row at the season changing over the next few weeks. I reckon from February it's going to feel really, really different every time I come, so I'm quite excited about that. But at the moment, we were saying this morning about how we are just embracing and enjoying the restful January, and like how we're not fighting against what January is. I think that was what the tendency used to be for this time of year. Is like you used to think that January, gosh, January, it's not August, is it? And it's like, it's obviously not August, it's January. But now when you can see that there's a very small window of daylight, you can chill out, you can relax, everything is telling you to chill out and relax and calm down, you can embrace that a little bit more. And my mornings in the studio with Claire is definitely a part of that. And you may not think that coming to Pilates would be a calm and restful thing. Maybe you've got different preconceptions about it, who knows? If you do want to find out, Claire has a wonderful app with wonderful classes that you can do and enjoy and find out for yourself. But for me, it's like a slow workout that almost embraces every element of January while still being really hard and working all of the muscles. And like I was saying in the car, it's one of those things that I have noticed such a huge difference in my body from, like, firstly upping my 2 almost non-negotiable workouts to 4, although Claire's probably looking at me thinking it's a good week if you make 4 at the moment, Lydia, but we'll ignore that. But it has made such a huge difference, and also with the fact that around about this time last year I did change my diet quite drastically, and we're almost a year since doing that. But at the moment we're doing abs this morning, aren't we? All the abs, and basically Claire's been working around a little bit of an injury I had on my leg, and today is the first day where we're starting to really be able to like re-stretch out the muscles and utilize it. I actually put weight on the front of my leg, which I hadn't been able to do when we just did some little lower ab movements. What were those ones called?
Knee tucks.
Knee tucks. So we were basically doing like me on all fours here with the box here, and I was pulling in the carriage with one leg and then extending the other leg. It was almost like glutes and abs, and it was my favorite thing. I think when you combine glutes and abs, yeah, I love it when it's almost like habit stacking a workout, which I quite like. Obviously I have no beautiful scenery to show you today because it is dark, so you can just have a look at me and Claire doing the most on the reformers. Claire is on a one-woman mission to get me to work my lower abs. I think I'm really, I'm good at working these ones, but my lower abs is something that I really struggle with. So we are trying to find the movements that make me feel like those are engaged, and she's on a mission to do it. So we are going to crack on with the abs, because I literally said to Claire this morning to stop letting me talk so much, even though I was injured last week. I was like, you stop letting me talk so much, because if you do, I will never get anything done. And here she is letting me talk so much. No, I'm joking. It's a different angle in the studio.
Okay, so facing the back, grab your straps and place them through over the legs, over onto the thighs. Okay, then hold onto the knots, bring your hips nice and close to the shoulder rest. And we are going to slowly come all the way back, and then bring the legs up to tabletop. Elbows wide, knees are together. Take a nice big inhale, take that head back. Squeeze slowly, lift that chest. Keep the legs nice and still. Good, and again drop it back. Nice big inhale, lift. Good. We're here for 8. Good. Let's go for 7. 1, and now pulse and move those knees, chest together, tiny pulses of curling in for 10, 9, 8, good, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a breath. Nice. Relax that head, shake out the shoulders. We're going to rotate the elbow towards and bring both knees in together. So squeeze and then release, take it back. I want the elbow to go all the way back, so full range of motion back. And then inhale, squeeze, keep those knees together.
See what I had for dinner in that position there. Definitely see what I had for dinner. Stars, guys. It's not the view you need in the morning.
So nice deep lunge, take it back, straight leg, and then draw those abs and lift all the way up.
I'm just out of my Pilates class. That was absolutely wonderful. Battery is low, but I'm just about to put on my book. So this is what makes me enjoy driving to either a class, farmhouse, anything like that early in the morning, or any time of day, whether it's my horse riding. I always think of my journey as a bit of a treat, because it means I get to power through a book. So by the time I get home at like 8:30, I will have powered through an hour of my book, because I'm about half an hour away from my Pilates studio, and it is honestly like, it makes me feel so good. Anyway, someone's coming, I've got to go. I am just home. It is 9 o'clock. I'm actually usually home before 9 o'clock. I do have to point that out. I talk a little bit too much sometimes in my Pilates classes, and I chew Claire's ear off at the end of sessions, and so I was a bit later today. But what I am doing at the moment when I get home is I'm not taking the endless supplements that I was before. What I am doing is taking this. This is the Microbes Revive Digestive Health. And then because I've been getting ill a lot, this is the Extra Defense Immune Support. It's actually nearly finished, and I think I will move on to Metatone, because that's what my grandma uses, and my grandma knows her stuff. So this Microbes is basically, I think I've told you about it before, it's a beneficial microbes from, I can't read it. We tried reading it last time. And I wouldn't say it's the nicest tasting thing, so I would always go for this first and then this, because it tastes a little bit TCP-y, but my pursuit of better gut health this year means that these kinds of things are things that I'm exploring. I went to Pilates this morning and I had a bit of like, almost like heartburn in my chest, and it was really uncomfortable, and I was trying to like drink water to get it to go away, but actually stretching out in child's pose, it was kind of an extended child's pose, got rid of it. So that was super interesting. I don't know if anyone's ever had that before, where like they've had almost what feels like indigestion or something like that, and then actually just stretching. Maybe that makes perfect sense to some people. Anyway, so I have a little teaspoon of this. I give it a good shake as well beforehand. And bottoms up. Ooh. Mm. Mm. And then I have this perfect amount, almost. So this one tastes really nice. Mm. It's really good for getting rid of the taste of that one. The other thing that I'm taking at the moment is the Hairburst Advanced Hair Formula, because this is a food supplement. So I've moved away from the gummies just because of how my diet changed last year, and I have gone for these because these are capsules, so I can break them into drinks and smoothies, and even a bit, I suppose you could put it in a sauce or something, I don't know, but I'm not going to do that. Generally I put it in my drinks. So you're supposed to take 4 of these daily, so I try and break them up a little bit so that there's no flavour being added. So I'll put like 2 in a smoothie and then 2 in, say, my ginger shot. And my ginger shot is a homemade concoction of lemons, ginger, chia seeds, and we make it nice and spicy. And so you can have this as a hot tea at this time of year, which is a nice alternative. And then in summer I will even have it as like a long icy drink. You can just have it as a shot as well if you fancy. If you want it to be over quickly, you can do it that way. So I'm gonna have 2 of these in there, but I also have some good news. Oh my goodness, it's been, what, 2 days since I put my sweet pea seeds into the sprouter, and we already have little baby sproutlings, little baby sproutlings on these ones. So these are platinum jubes, platy jubes. We also have the old times, which we have some sprouts coming out of as well. However, the berry kiss has not germinated just yet, so we're going to leave those in there. But I was honestly shocked because these usually take such a long time to germinate. I hear people saying like, you know, scratch the shell and things like that, but no, they have germinated. So I've done their little water dip this morning. I can now habit stack for my morning so I can get myself ready. And what I'm going to do is watch through my next YouTube video so that I can do like edits and get it ready for upload. And that is what I find to be a good use of my time. So what I was talking about earlier was me habit stacking when I'm driving and listening to an audiobook whilst driving. I would usually do that when I'm getting ready for makeup, but on days like today, I will do my YouTube video. I'm just about to do my makeup and I realised I haven't taken my lunch out of the freezer, so I'm going to take one of my little bone broths out of here so that hopefully it will be defrosted by lunchtime and that will be my lunch, although I probably should have taken it out when I got up at 5 o'clock. Okay, video is watched through, makeup is done, and I've actually also filmed 2 other videos as well, so very, very productive. I'm about to have my lunch, hopefully it's defrosted, and this is me in the afternoon. Oh, I'm not telling you all of this stuff because I'm telling you that I'm really, really busy or anything like that. I just tell you what I'm doing on my day-to-day life, basically, so yeah, that's it. First time trying the bone broth that I made from a chicken this time, not a turkey. I am about to head out and do the chickens because they've been all in the garden all day and it's time for them to have some corn and go to bed. But I have a little bit of a niche haul today, a little bit bougie, a little bit not bougie, or you might see it the other way around, who knows. The first things that have arrived is the next thing in my pursuit for making some body products from the bits and bobs in my garden, whether that's herbs, flowers, or even evergreen leaves. I found this one recipe where they'd done it with pine needles, and I've looked into it and I'm kind of intrigued about doing a bit of a Quercus Ilex infused body cream. So I've actually bought, there's a place called The Soapery on Amazon, and it seemed right up my street in terms of ingredients. Obviously it's a fairly local business. This is made in Ireland, and it's vegan, vegetarian, 100% natural, cruelty-free, non-GM, and I can't see the other one behind it. But I don't know if I've ever actually felt raw shea butter before. I bought 2 tubs, but I think considering how quickly I've gone through my coconut oil one, I'll probably go through this quite quickly as well. And I'm super intrigued to feel what, ooh, my gosh, it's so waxy, isn't it? So what I want to try and do is I want to take a carrier oil, and my carrier oil of choice is sweet almond oil, because I thought that would be quite nice. And I'm going to spend the next day or so infusing over the heat some of the Quercus Ilex into this oil, and then I'm going to add it to this. I might add some other oils, and I might add some coconut oil and things like that, and then I want to try and whip it, because you know I really enjoyed that whipped body cream. I mean, it smells fairly nothingy, which is lovely, but I'm hoping that if I get a good chunk of evergreen leaves, I can make my own little evergreen infused body cream, because I love the coconut oil. It's super, like, my skin has never felt this lovely, but I want something a little bit more, I don't know, thick and nourishing. So I am going to give this a go. So I bought 2 tubs of this. All of this was on Amazon. It came next day delivery. I get most of my little natural oils and things like that from Amazon, and I'm really enjoying like being inspired by something in my garden and then like putting it into something. Then going from that to something a little bit more bougie. This is a treat for Ali and I. You might remember during Vlogmas, Ali and I went on our annual Christmas shopping trip, and we went to 45 Jermyn Street for snacks before dinner, and we had a snack which rocked our world. And I decided that it was going to be something that we were going to try and make at home, only on special occasions. This isn't going to be a weekly treat, famous last words, but I did want to try it, and try it making sort of really nice roast potatoes, nice sour cream, and then finding the caviar that we liked. So I ordered a selection, as always. I wanted to find a British manufacturer, so I went to Exmoor Caviar, and I also wanted to try their caviar crisps. I thought that might be quite interesting just to try it. I actually thought that they would be crisps that you pair with caviar, but I didn't realise that they were actually flavoured caviar crisps. I will try that and report back there. And then what I did was I ordered their little, they do like a starter pack of their like most favourite caviars. So we got the Imperial, or I can't say that word, we'll put it on screen, Royal Beluski, and the Cornish Salted Berry. And I thought we can make our own little snacks and have a little tasting session with these and find which one we like, and then we can order some for when we're having a little treat, because I have to be honest, it's something that we enjoy. And it means that at Christmas time we can make sure that we've got some in the fridge, because my goodness me, does caviar sell out at Christmas. So I'm going to put this in the fridge for now, probably do this later on in the week and have a little tasting session. But yes, that was my very, very bougie food haul. Right, time to head to do the chickens and harvest some of the leaves that I'm going to use. So this is our Quercus ilex bush. You can hear another dog somewhere barking, and Porter and Barkley can't stand it. They're like, who are you? But this is basically a hybrid between essentially like an oak, because Quercus means oak, and like a holly leaf. So it's got like these little bit of spiky bits to it. It almost looks a little bit holly-esque. So I'm going to take some of these leaves and take them inside and start infusing them. I'm going for the smallest and youngest leaves that I can get, because I think that they'll have more goodness in them because they're fresher. But I might get some old ones too. Never discount the old ones. Well, it's been one of those days when my time has been occupied by work all day, and I am only why are you on the wonk? I'm only just getting to tackle the evergreen leaves. So I'm going to start by chopping these up, because I'm going to have to start the process of the oil now, and it's probably going to be a bit of a long one, but I'm really committed to this. First of all, it makes the body cream green, but also I love the idea of just infusing things and adding the beautifulness of my garden into some beauty products. So I'm going to chop these up, and I'm going to get myself a little bain-marie going. Is that how you say it, a bain-marie? Who knows? And I am going to get these in there, get these all out, so I can start by putting things into the bowl. But basically it just says to chop these up, so that's what I'm going to do. Gosh, these are tough leaves though. But that is the thing about evergreen leaves, is that they are tougher and more resilient. Do you know what? I think I'm just going to tear them up. I think that's going to be easier and quicker. If I just tear them into the bowl, then I can get the oil going. And basically I'm going to be heating up and then allowing to cool, and then heating up and then allowing to cool the oil, so that it slowly infuses with the sweet almond oil. So this is going to be an evergreen and sweet almond oil, hopefully, when I'm finished with it. I know my husband is going to think I am absolutely nuts when he gets home, but I think he's got to the stage in his life now where he knows that if I'm trying something, there might be something in it. So I'm sure he'll be stealing my concoctions anytime soon. But I'd say what I've noticed with using my other little body cream was that I have just noticed that my skin is just, I feel like I think about it less. My body, the skin on my body, it just feels different. And so I'm intrigued by that. And like I said, I love beauty products, I really do. And I love discovering good beauty products. I just think that sometimes maybe not everything needs to be every day, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay with exploring how that affects my body, but also, is it maybe that it could be that the beauty industry might be starting to change a little bit more, and there's going to be less things that irritate. Sorry, I keep thinking Ali's got home from London because he's had a very busy day in London, but we shall see. Who knows? Who knows if that's sort of going to be something that changes. Now, you can add essential oils to beauty products that you make. The thing that I find with essential oils is that whilst they are natural, they can still be quite irritating if you've got sensitive skin, and I do have quite sensitive skin, so I have to be careful with things that are like really fragranced going onto them. Now, I am definitely not a professional at these kinds of things, I should probably warn you. This is my first time making my first ever body cream, and so this might not go to plan. I might have to make tweaks. This might be something that we learn about together. You may have tips and tricks for me in the comments, but for the most part, I'm intrigued by the journey that we're about to go on. Right, everything's broken up there, so let's get the sweet almond oil. We are going to need a metal bowl, a saucepan with hot water, and I'm going to place it on here and get that heating up on a fairly low heat. It's already got boiling water in it. I'm going to weigh out the cups with my little cup measurer, and we are doing 3/4 of a cup of sweet almond oil. There we go, 3 in there. And I have to tell you, sweet almond oil is not that sweet. And then I'm going to pop my little torn up leaves into the bain-marie like that. And I'm going to grab a wooden spoon and just submerge them. And so what I'm going to do over the next day or two is this is going to be left here like this, much to my husband's dismay, I'm sure, because he'll probably want that pot, that exact pot. And I'll bring and heat the oil, turn it off, let it cool, do it again, and it's going to be a process that I'm going to do for the next 24 to 48 hours, and then hopefully we'll get to whip some cream together, and then I'll hopefully get to tell you what it feels like and whether it's nice. I am going to curl up with my book. I started a new book today, so I am currently in the process of training my Kindle, and this has absolutely changed my life, but I have a very, very specific type of book that I like to read, and finding them and finding my algorithm when it comes to books is proving a little bit difficult, because I really like seasonal fictional books. So stories about, right now that we're in midwinter and it's a wintry setting, I really like them set in England. Obviously, I like to be inspired by the things that are in the book. I like them to feel good. I like a good gripping story. I like them to be nice to read and that kind of thing. It's proving difficult to find all of the things that I enjoy in one book. But if you have any suggestions for me, then please do let me know. The book that I started was actually one of Carrie's favourite books. And it is called The Winter Garden. Sadly not set in England at the moment. At the moment we're in Africa. But really nice to read. I read a book just before this called, what was my book called? Library. Oh, The Winter Solstice. And it was a nice book. I finished it, but it was just, and it was a nice read. I wouldn't say it was an easy read, and I would say that it was not much happened, so I'd say it's a soft read. I wasn't necessarily inspired. Actually, I found it quite difficult to picture a lot of the things, but that's just a personal thing. So we're now reading The Winter Garden, well, Winter Garden by Kristin Hannah, and I'm 10% of the way through. So I'm probably just going to curl up on the sofa and give this a good read for the foreseeable. I have my Kindle set to the dyslexic settings. I don't know if you know this about Kindle, but you can set the font to a dyslexic setting and it makes it easier to read. That has helped me so much. I'm such a faster reader with it on. You can choose the font size, you can choose the spacing, all of that kind of stuff. I was such an anti-Kindle person to begin with. And now I don't think I'll ever go back. If I don't understand a word, I just hold it down. Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. So anyway, book recommendations, welcome, because I am now on my 4th book. I've started a few and not finished them, which is sad. I hate that because I always feel like I need to see a book through until the end. But my goodness me, sometimes it's just not possible. So anyway, I'm on chapter 3. I'm gonna curl up and keep an eye on my bain-marie, which is behind me, and hopefully we'll have some nice produce in a few days. Good morning, everyone. The weather is so different at the moment. We've really had a bit of a move upwards when it comes to the temperature in England. And I was actually hot on the dog walk this morning. I genuinely thought that it was going to be cold, but I had all of my thermals on, I had my husband's coat on, and I was sweating. I had to take my coat off. Today is the first day that I've wanted to do something and I've not been able to. I took a bash to my leg during the Christmas holidays, and it is like literally days from being mended, but I still can't wear proper boots. And so it's why I've been living either in slip-on shoes or my mountain horse boots, because they are so sort of loose. I really wanted to wear my Fairfax and Favour boots. You can see them there waiting for me, and I just couldn't. But never mind, I'm going to go downstairs and check on the Quercus ilex leaves on the hob, because they are still infusing. You might think this is a bit of a long-winded process, but I am trying it out first. And then if I love it in future, I will do more of a batch and then prepare lots of moisturiser for me. I think that's the best thing to do. My outfit today is a pair of brown H&M jeans. I've got a Ralph Lauren knitted cable knit jumper on. I've got a Beaufort & Blake blue denim-y shirt layered underneath, and I will have some mountain horse boots on. I'm currently bringing it to heat again. I don't know if I'm seeing this as green yet, but what I am going to do is probably by the evening I will see how we get on. I'm going to see what it's like with 1 day's worth of infusion, just so that we can make the body cream together and see how we get on. But if it needs 2 days of infusion, I am not someone to deny it. But every so often, because obviously you get a little bit of the sweet almond oil on the spoon, when I put it into the little bowl, I'll take the sweet almond oil and I'll put it on the backs of my hands. We have other developments in the microgreen department at the moment. My fenugreek and pea shoots have germinated. The pea shoots are going wild. I love them so much because they just push all of the soil off of them, and you can just see their little sprouty bits. What I did was I gave them a really small amount of water. I think I've found that I am a bit of an over-waterer with things, and I always think that more is more, but really that's not the case at all. And so I gave them a little trickle of water, and then I left them alone for 3 days. It is now Wednesday, and I noticed movement today and that the soil was dry, so I'd let them get a little bit dry. So I've given them a little bit more water, and we've got this germination happening in the fenugreek as well. I'm not seeing much movement in the wheatgrass, that's for sure. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Oh my goodness, it's a sunny day in the greenhouse. And I have been doing a little bit of faffing and shopping. I didn't realise that you could get different types of logs for your bioethanol wood burner. If you don't know, this isn't a real wood burner. And I'm really glad that it's not, because first and foremost, it's low profile, so I've got a lot more space in here. Second of all, the amount that I use it would not have been worth putting a real one in, but it is worth putting this one in, because I can't tell you how lovely it is in winter to have this in here when I'm out here, but it is so rare that I'm out here for long periods of time that I wouldn't say the expense would have been worth it. That being said, I love it when it's lit, okay, so don't get me wrong. However, I've not really loved these bits of wood that came with it. You buy it as a kit, and I just got this urge the other day to sort of look online to see if you could buy different ones, and you can. I found these on eBay, and these are the actual types of wood, if you see, that we burn in our house, which is like a birch wood. And so these are ceramic, so I thought I'd try them out and see what they look like in there and see if they look a bit better, because these just look a little bit strange, I find. Why is there a pine cone? I do know that some people use pine cones as lighters, but they just don't look very pine coney in my opinion. So yes, have a look and see if we can stack these so that they look a bit better. Bear with me here. Well, I'm not 100% sold yet. I'm gonna get the fire lit, but I didn't need 5, but they come in a pack of 5 anyway. But we'll see what it's like when it's lit. I'm still not convinced. We'll see. But look at this weather. Oh my goodness, and my windows need a clean. I think it's that time of year where I booked to have the greenhouse cleaned. Well, not yet. It's too early yet. Now, I'm trying not to do too much gardening content back to back. I like to try and space these things out, because I know that, you know, my audience wasn't built off of the back of my gardening content, but so many of you have been asking me for it, and I don't want to like overkill it, but it is, especially on a day like today where, I'm sorry, this feels like early spring. Don't want to get too over the top excited about it. However, I did want to say, someone commented on my video last week. They said, stop rushing ahead with the seasons and just enjoy them. And I know that for the majority of my audience, I don't have to say this, but just if you ever watch my content, I want you to know that you can take or leave whatever is in my videos. Like, if you're feeling like you're like getting ready for spring and you're thinking bulbs and things like that, please, by all means, go ahead. Get your flowering bulbs scattered around your home. Please do as you wish. I honestly don't mind. However, if you're like me and you're still feeling like the midwintery vibes, then do that, whichever makes you the happiest in your slice of the world, your part of England, whatever, because all I'm hoping to do is to maybe inspire you to do something. How you actually do it or execute it is down to what country you live in, what hemisphere you live in, whatever. And there's so much to the factors that make up what I'm doing in England that I don't expect any of you to replicate what it is that I'm doing. But I hope that it inspires you wherever you are. When I'm growing sweet peas, you might already be on sunflowers or whatever. And it's not so much the details, it's more about how you live your life. So I just wanted to say that, because whenever I see those comments, I'm like, you're worrying too much about getting it right, and I'm so guilty of that too. But I want you to worry less about getting it right, and I want you to worry more about how things make you feel and doing more of that. And if, you know, being in a like early winter, like sort of a pre-Christmas winter, as we tend to sort of, we call it winter in Evergreen, and it's midwinter now, and that's like the premise of my book. But if you're still in winter, you crack on in winter. I honestly don't mind, and I love that I can see one of my neighbours is also out in her garden. In fact, I've got a question to ask her, because she once gifted me with some cup and saucer plants, and they were like climbing ones, and I want to get 2 again for our house, because they just looked so wonderful growing up, and I want to try and grow them myself each year. So I'm gonna, if I get a chance, I'm gonna ask her, because it's lovely having someone that you can ask questions to. Anyway, what I was going to say was I've got Mr. Stick, because there is a slug on one of my lemons, and that is absolutely not okay, Mr. Slug. Sorry, but you are not allowed to live here. And so look at that. I've just got him on the end of my Mr. Stick. I almost feel like everyone should have the Mr. Stick, because now I can put him outside far away from my vegetable garden, and I didn't have to touch him. There's another slug. Oh, no, no, no. We are going to have a war with these little, oh gosh, he's in the heater. We're having fried slug for dinner. No, it's not on, don't worry. He'll get out, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Right. She's an animal. That's her banging. It was such a cold and dark morning. I literally said that it was almost like a Twilight morning. If you ever loved the Twilight series, I was at uni when the Twilight series came out and I absolutely loved it. But whenever it's like foggy and misty and warm but wet, it makes me think of Twilight. However, it has blossomed, pardon the pun, into, popping you out there, can I pop you out there? In my greenhouse, I think I need to have some little area. Do you know what I'm gonna do? We're talking about changes that we're gonna make, not changes, but like additions that we're gonna make to the greenhouse this year. I want to add, like I saw in Dalesford, the wood that I can hang my tools from, because at the moment they're kind of scattered everywhere. We also want to have a cupboard to hide some electrical bits and pieces there. And what I think I might try and get done too is find some angles in here that I really like to film from and have some little ledges built for my camera and my phone, because I film in here so much and I think it's probably in here that I lose the most cameras, so I need to be mindful of that. Anyway, it feels like spring today, and carrying on, I know that most of you know this anyway, but there is like a slow collapse into each season. It's not like one day all of a sudden it turns. You'll start feeling elements of the season creeping in, and today is the first time that we have had blue skies. Like, look at this, blue skies and warm sunshine in the garden. And so all of the neighbours are out in their gardens, so much is going on. You can hear a bonfire somewhere. It is joyous. I can't quite believe it. I also wanted to show you the birchwood. I actually think it looks better than the other stuff. You notice it more, but I think it looks more like wood, and because we've got the birchwood stacked underneath, which is real birchwood, I feel like it works a bit better. Now, what I'm about to do in here is give all of my lemon trees a feed, because I wasn't able to water them when it was freezing, because if I was to water them, their roots would freeze and it's not particularly good. So I am going to fill up some watering cans. I've got a little bit of feed left over, and I'm just going to give them all a bit of a liquid seaweed feed for early spring. Give them a good feed, you know. So this is organic and it just helps with everything. Fruit, veg, you name it. Otherwise, normally I would water everything with my hose, but sadly, it's a lot more effort this way. Do you know what? With horses, I might have just come up with a contraption there. When you wash a horse, you basically get this little canister and you put the shampoo in the canister. I reckon you could get one for this and you could put the liquid feed in the canister. If no one's thought of that, I think I might have just invented something. All right, Mr. Bumblebee. Sorry, I know you're not a bumblebee, you're a honeybee. The joy of being out here. And I know that so many of you have greenhouses, but I know that some of you only have gardens. I know that some of you have balconies, and I know that some of you just have windowsills. I'm gonna do my best to build a bit of an Amazon storefront for like small space gardening, just so whatever you've got, you can experience the joys of growing something. Because I know I say it every year, I started growing things on the windowsills in my kitchen, and this all came from there. Last year was a really rubbish growing season for me, and I am fully committed to having a good one this year. So hopefully we can do a bit together if you want to. I mean, nearly 85% of my audience on Instagram are growing this year, so there's that. I know you must be so bored of this angle, but I can't put into words how much joy it brings me. And it is so warm. This has filled my cup completely. Oh. Ali's just bought some soup over to munch on this afternoon, and this is why I love having my pantry stocked like this, because it means I don't have to go rummaging through cupboards and baskets to find packets of seeds. They're already there. So I've already topped these with some sesame seeds. I am going to add, sorry, don't mind Mr. Millen-Gordon feeding the dogs. I'm going to add some...
They're getting their dog donuts from Ruffington's.
Oh, show them. Do we have any more to show them? We were sent some very, very bougie doggy treats. It's almost like buying Hotel Chocolat for your dog. So if you ever want to buy someone a very bougie dog treat, these are Ruffingtons. These are their dog donuts. Barclay's already started on that one. I'll show you some of the other bits that they gave us as well, because they're very lovely if you know someone that's mad about their dog. So now I'm just putting some poppy seeds on here as well. And I'm gonna throw in some chia seeds, you know? Why not? Or I'll do some sunflower seeds. This is a Dalesford, which soup is this?
Butternut squash.
Butternut squash. And when obviously we have the microgreens that are growing to the side and you are actually propped on a pot of them, we'll pop little micro herbs and greens on there. Bluebell.
Ow.
No. Bluebell. Don't even think about it, Bluebell. I see your little flamingo leg poised to come in.
Yummy. Mimi's there.
And Porty. Well done, Porty. I've come into the bedroom because I've just gone into the kitchen and Ali is cooking dinner tonight. And I think that my husband might be becoming an evergreen soul. I've just walked into the kitchen and he's we're only having baked potatoes this evening. But he's laid the kitchen island and everything looks beautiful. I honestly, I feel like this is just, I'm so proud. Now he seems to really like these burgundy napkins, so I'm just letting him go with it. I just love that this is what he's doing. Even look at his little linen bowl topper. We are having a different season every day at the moment. We now have fog, which actually doesn't look as bad as it does in real life on camera, but it's like almost like a steam room because it was so warm today. Unbelievable. Good morning, everyone. I am just back from my Pilates class. I didn't film this one because I do know that I get into a habit of filming the same things. So I thought I'd show you my outfit instead. My outfit I actually really liked this morning. This is one of my favourites. Both Claire and I love chocolate. I think it's Claire that got me into chocolate workout gear. And now I am just a chocky-wocky doodah. So I've got my Amazon trainers on, which are chocolate. And then this is a Varley set, which I love. I think Varley has become one of my favourite workout places to shop. When I first did my first order, I felt like their leggings were a bit too soft and weren't supportive enough. It's almost like they've sort of brought in some new ones, and I got them in chocolate. My little leg warmers are from Amazon, and then this is an N Peel cashmere mini cardigan. This is my Marcella coat. Little wrap number. But I'm actually going to get myself ready for the day because today I'm having my beds filled with compost, ready for the growing season. So last year we just took farm manure and used that in the beds, and that was something that I did differently. And if you remember, I had a few little problems with my beds. So this year we're just going back to normal compost, and then we're going to top it with the stuff that we have been composting with the chickens in the garden, all of that kind of stuff. So that is happening today. I also I did a little bit of an impulse purchase yesterday. I've got to be honest, I never really shop much in January, and I don't like to shop in January, to be honest, but I really liked this jumper, and I felt like this might be one of those things that's like multiple products in one, and I'd get a lot of use out of it. However, it was in the sale and it was available in my size, and so it all feels a little bit too good to be true. It was on the Me&M website anyway, so I thought I'd unbox this because I thought I'd open it with you because I feel like I'd quite like to wear it today because it's quite cozy. So it's cashmere. Oh, I love the colour. And basically, Me&M do these jumpers that they have like removable roll necks. Now, logistically, I'm interested. And so I just want to see if it actually works or if it looks a little bit silly. So I bought my usual size. Oh, I love the colour. But what I loved is that this will be a really nice crew neck, so I can wear shirts underneath it if I want to. But then you literally like have this separate snood, and it buttons on into the inside. So there's little button loops like so. And I'm just intrigued to see if it's going to look rubbish or not. So I think I'm going to wear this today. Yeah, that was about all I had to tell you. It's a Thursday madhouse at ours, with the gardeners here, with the housekeepers here, with everyone here. It's a lot, but the jumper has not disappointed, okay? I am super happy with it, just as a crew neck, to be honest, but I have tried it with the little snood. What I would say is that I might try and like DIY it a bit, because they've only put one button that sits at the back, and I just don't know. I feel like if they'd had 4 buttons, it would have been a little bit more robust, but it does still work. I just think I really like it with a shirt underneath it, with some light coloured denim, and that's it for a day at home, pottering about, doing bits, just trying to get on top of other things around the house whilst I can. So really, it's the perfect outfit, and this is cashmere as well. So my skepticism was unwarranted and unfounded, because I have to say that when I find things that are in the sale and still in stock, I'm like, what's wrong with you? So this is a happy find. I love the colour, and then I can wear it sort of over the shoulders as well in spring. It's gorgeous, love. Pardon the mess, but there is also the fact that it goes beautifully with my little pochette. Oh, I love her. She's just so cute with outfits like this too, with brown boots. When I am at the point where I can actually wear normal boots again, it will be so good. Our weekly food shop has just arrived, and I actually filmed an unboxing video for my TikTok, so I'm not going to go through it all with you now, but what I am hoping to do is have a good old organise and restock of my pantry, because I've learnt a few things about what we've decanted and things like that, and there's things that we don't use, there's things that we do use that should be in the pantry, so it may just need to be a little bit better organised. I also just think a regular keeping up with and restocking and clearing out, that kind of thing, is good for a pantry. And obviously this is like a whole unit for our pantry. So I have all of my cookbooks over here. We have our freezer down here. We have coffee, tea, all of like our jars with nuts, seeds, lentils, flowers, that kind of thing. Baking things, all of that in there. More like a sort of larder. We've got drawers with bits and pieces in there. And then we have the fridge with some extra storage above in there as well. And then also this open storage that we try to keep looking relatively nice. So I'm going to stock the fridge part of the pantry. I've already stocked the freezer, and get as much of this put away as possible. Right, At this point, I think I'm actually putting off making the body cream because I'm scared that it's going to go wrong. So we're procrastinating and reorganising the pantry. No, in all seriousness, this does need to be done because there's things that we use a lot of and things that we don't use a lot of, things that I need to start using, and things that we won't necessarily buy again. Things, there's a list of many things. Things that are in big jars that should be in small jars. So these are pine nuts, and I'm going to need my label maker. So I have this very, very handy label maker that I use for my pantry. You've seen it before. I bought it because of Leo Bamford. She put it on her stories and it was like a instant buy. But it's on offer, I believe, at the moment. So it is one of those things you have to have a subscription for. I just do a month. I don't have a year-long subscription because I'm not often label making. I find if I'm label making, it's a dedicated cause. And I'm going to set aside time to do it. If you're someone that makes labels all the time, maybe you're like constantly sending letters and you just put the label, the details into here and print, then different story. But for me, if I've got a project, I get my label maker. So it might actually need to be charged. Oh dear, does it need to be charged? Yeah. Right, so I'm going to put that on charge for now anyway. That just shows you how often I have used it. But luckily we have the charger here. So I'll leave that to charge for a little bit whilst I organise what I'm going to do. So one of the things that I have never used in the kitchen, this is a real coming clean moment, is lentils. Whenever I've looked at recipes with lentils, it's always been quite like curry based, and I'm not a huge lover of curries. Even when we get like an Indian, I'm not really like hugely into that cuisine. I'll always get like a chicken tikka masala, always. So, and I feel like that's not even really a curry half the time, it's more like a dessert. So yes, I think that for me, it's not been something that I've used. However, I'm not going to let that put me off, and I found a recipe to start using this because, as I said, I listen to Emily English and she's all about variety, and I need to get some lentils. She always says, add some lentils or whatever. So there is a recipe for lentil bolognese that I think I'm gonna give a go with these because I just never use them, ever. And they're taking up space in my pantry, so if I don't use them, it could be for something else. So I'm gonna use them up, see how we get on. If I like the dishes, I'll buy them again and allocate them a place in the pantry. Sometimes we have more of things. So at the moment, we have 2 jars of desiccated coconut on the go, which is completely unnecessary when it is this big. So I'm gonna decant that straight away and put this into the dishwasher. Ooh, the dishwasher to have that cleaned so that we can put something else in it, because this one doesn't even have a label on it. So that is perfectly done, so that can go in the wash now, and then this can go back on side. Et voila. We have unlabeled almonds at the moment, but we have a refill packet. So what I'm going to do, decant these ones into here, and hopefully all the almonds. We can just pop these ones on the top so that they can be reused, and then I will relabel this. These pistachios are ruining my stuff because there's hardly any in here, and we have shelled pistachios here. That infuriates me because I would really like to just either have all of them unshelled or all of them shelled. I don't want to be taking up 2 things for one thing. This currently has my golden caster sugar in. I use quite a lot of golden caster sugar, so I think that this could probably be better allocated to that. Yeah, I think that poppy seeds, you just don't go through them quickly enough, and you definitely don't need that many of them because they're so small. So I actually think I'm going to free up this and pop them into here because that is excessive. So that's another one to be washed up. Then decanting the pine nuts into a smaller one as well. These can be washed. See, we are making space. I'm being very tactical. Very, very tactical. These veg bits can go away as well. One thing I do use a lot of now is rice. So I would definitely like to get rice on the go in one of these. So those are two things that will need to be labelled. Okay, we're making progress. We are washing up the jars. I've just gone through the pasta drawer. Now generally we order fresh pasta now, but I feel like it's always good to have a little bit of like the preserved pasta or non-fresh. However, we have a lot. So I would say probably a little bit too much. My mum always buys me these green lasagna sheets because she knows that I like green things and I need to make use of them. But I go through and I'm checking all of the dates. Do you know what this is going to do? This is going to stand me in good stead when spring comes around, that things like my pantry are already done and organised, so that there are other areas in my house that I can focus on, because when it starts to feel like spring, I hope you know, the cleanse is going to be real. Spring cleaning is my favourite. Next up, so we have these sesame seeds, so we can top those up for sure, because sesame seeds for me are a good thing to just sprinkle here and there. I do want everything nowadays, just to get whatever I can in. Going everywhere, God. Perfect, 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 perfect. Love that. Gluten-free oats, I keep those to one side because this is all of my cake making stuff. Gluten-free white flour, gluten-free plain white flour. So we have self-raising, so 2 different flours for gluten-free, just in case, you know, and you've got a celiac best friend, that's what you've got to do. Pitted dates, they can be decanted for sure. Icing sugar, so for now, golden caster sugar. Just keep those with the gluten-free bits. Aha! Something to top up. Love that when you get just the right amount to top up the whole thing. Love it. Now there's 2 things that we get sent a lot of: crackers and water bottles. I would like 2025, do these not have a date on them? They do. I would like 2025 to be the year, out of date, that we'd stop doing water bottles for like PR gifts. I think branded ones and things like that, obviously Stanley cups, I think, you know, they get a bit of a free pass, but I think we need to rein in the water bottles for PR gifts. And I hope that's not me being ungrateful, but it's just we get so many and we are like swamped. I've said this for years, so I really hope that that like is one of the things that doesn't happen anymore in 2025. So these are for the garden. These are for me. Hormone health, eh? Oh God, what do I look like? Right, I've got to as far as I can get with the pantry, to be honest. And I know that I need to make this body cream, otherwise it's just gonna sit on here. So I'm going to start by straining the green leaves out of the oil with a little strainer. So just going to get in there really. So it has definitely given the oil a little green tinge. The leaves have gone a bit crispy as well, which is very, very interesting. A lot of oil on my fingers at the moment. I keep trying to rub it in as much as possible, but don't want to do too much. But just, sweet almond oil is just unbelievable. It feels so good. I'm like, get some down here. But I'm going to strain it. Let me get an apron on. So I'm going to get another bowl. I'm going to get a spatula. And I'm going to place this on here. so that I can strain all of the rest of the leaves out of this. It's really important to like get between the leaves because there's a lot of oil still stuck in these leaves. I think we're about done there. So that is my oil. Can you see? A little bit green. I want to pour it over. Okay, now we're going to start on the fun part. Now they have mango butter and shea butter. I only got shea butter and I'm going to see what I can come up with. I also bought some more vitamin E oil because I'm going through the other one so quickly. And this is also from the Soapery. Really, really lovely little brand, I think. So I'm going to need this bowl for sure. And we are going to put this here again. So this is 500 grams and I need 100 grams. So wind up my little scales. And it says 100 grams of this and 100 grams of mango butter, so I'm going to do 200 grams. Oh, we need to tear it. This is my little wind up scales from Brabantia. That'll do. I'll rub that in somewhere later. I'm going to pop this on here. Okay, heat that up. So that is now heating up. I'm going to melt this down and then I will be adding the sweet almond oil to this, and I'm going to add a little bit of coconut oil. I'm going to add a little bit of vitamin E and then we're going to whip it up. And did I say coconut oil? Yeah, I thought that'd get your attention, madam. Yes, so I'm going to let that heat up. I've just seen the news that Meghan Markle has postponed her new TV show, which honestly I was really looking forward to watching. I know that she's quite a divisive and polarising person. My comment section isn't for you to take your frustrations with Meghan Markle out. She won't read them, and that's what Lumi thinks about it too. Do you like Meghan Markle? Do you? Do you like Meghan Markle? You do? No? She's a big fan. She is a big fan of Meghan Markle. Do you want food? Let's see if you got some food. Hopefully you've finished. Yes, and anyway, what I was saying was I was really, really looking forward to watching it. I personally don't have a problem with anyone, so I can watch her show. You don't have to if you don't want to. I know that it can be quite a thing. The only thing that I'm sad about when it comes to the show is that it's not her home. And that's only because I know that obviously she's trying to craft her own privacy, because I think people get confused when she said, oh, I want privacy. Like, she doesn't mean she just wants to be private. I think the want is to be able to share what you want, and some things be private, which I think anyone is the same. Like if you're having marriage troubles or something like that, you don't go to the school gates and let everyone know if you're dropping your kids off at school. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the thing. So I'm sure that she's like wanting that to be a private thing, and I'm sure if it was her house it would cause even more hysteria. But the only thing is that I feel like anyone can rent a beautiful home with a beautiful garden and a beautiful kitchen and make beautiful content. I really wanted to see what she's cultivated. I really wanted to see her garden. I really wanted to see her kitchen, her pantry. I wanted to see all of those things, and that's my only thing that I'm sad about. But obviously it's nothing personal against her. I understand that there's obviously a reason why, but I think that it's a real sad element of the show because I really want to see it. I want to see what her kitchen garden is like. Anyway, this is heating up, so I need to focus. Right, I'm currently weighing out the ingredients. So we did get half a cup of the evergreen oil. I'm going to add, because I want obviously the consistency to be nice, I'm going to add a tablespoon of vitamin E oil. This could change the colour a little bit, but never mind. Remove this from the heat now. So as you can see, all of the shea butter has melted nicely, so we can get everything else in. We are going to add, oh good gosh, the evergreen oil into the shea butter. Where's my spatula? Where's my spatula? To make sure you get it all. So it's not looking very green, it's looking a little bit more amber. So let's get the vitamin E oil in there. Voila, give it a good old stir. And I'm gonna do a bit of coconut. Now, my cat is obsessed with coconut and we don't give it to her anymore. I reckon that's enough. That is enough. Because it makes her poorly. It's not for you. So I'm going to stir this in now, let it melt as well. And then we are going to whip it when it is cooling and going a little bit hard. It was not cooling quick enough, so I've put it in the freezer and I'm going to get it to cool a little bit more and then I'm going to give it a whip. Whilst I wait for it to cool, I really hope this is going to work, by the way. But I had a really good question on one of my videos recently, and I thought, well, actually, my Pilates instructor asked me it this morning. I thought that this would make a really, really interesting topic of conversation because I think about this a lot. Because nowadays, this is an industry that so many people can get into, and it's really lovely that like so many people are choosing this as a career and making it into something so fruitful. I always think back to the early days, and I've been doing this for like, I mean, I'm starting to lose track now. I'm like, is it 13 years? Is it 14 years? But I started in 2011, I think that's the year I started. Not YouTube, I started YouTube later, but I was essentially an online creator in 2011. Back then, there was very, very few people doing it, so it was really, really difficult to find inspiration. There was a lot of people sort of doing things in the space for the first time, a lot of really original creators that brought a lot to the space and have brought a lot of inspiration as well. And I always remember that when I started on YouTube, it was still very much like a space where the sort of fashion that you were seeing was New Look, was ASOS, was very that type of fashion. And I decided I wanted to do something a bit different, and I was doing more luxury fashion, and it quickly changed, but it was like a sort of, you got a lot of firsts back then. Nowadays, content tends to change and like trends tend to change and that kind of thing. But I had a really big think over the last sort of few months about inspiration and where you get it from. And I stopped watching YouTube videos. It must be over a year now that I've stopped watching YouTube videos. I mean, yeah, because I felt like we almost have this sort of like inward facing view where you need to know what's going on in the industry a lot of the time. And so I came up with this plan to create a different space for inspiration for me. And I identified a few websites, a few people outside of the creator industry, and I have those tabs. I'm not going to tell you the tabs because I think it's really important that you go and find these things for yourself, because I think what you're able to do is you're able to bring inspiration, because I think being a creative, you need to be inspired to create. And I think the easy route is to watch what everyone is already doing in your space and doing the same thing. And it's much harder to look outside, find little snippets and build your own sort of content strategy. Yes, I think it's super important that you kind of look elsewhere to different industries, whether it's like artists or brands or TV personalities or magazines or whatever, and you almost build your inspiration pile, because it's so much more fruitful when you look outside, build a content strategy yourself, execute it. It also feels a lot more fulfilling because there's so many people doing things now. I often see it on my content, I see it on other people's content. Oh, you've just copied this person, or your content is the same as this person. I can't tell you how fulfilling it is to know that you came up with an idea yourself and executed it, and it's already being done elsewhere, because it shows that there is an appetite for that content already. And so I never take that as an insult, but also I like to know that I came up with content ideas myself and built a picture of things that I want to do myself. And it's been such a learning curve for me, and so much more inspirational, especially using things like Pinterest as well. I use that a lot for content. I use a lot of AI for content as well. Not producing it, but brainstorming and that kind of thing. And I keep those tabs open on my desktop at all times. And so every morning I check in if these websites have been updated, what's new, what's happening, what's like happening in that world, because it's not just one world. I don't go on and see like just gardening websites. I have all of the different pillars that I find from my content. So whether it's fashion, home, style, beauty, gardening, creativity, that kind of thing, whatever, I find websites that I love and I keep them up. There's not loads of them, there's only a few, but this has been transformative for me enjoying my content more, and so I thought that would be really helpful for me to share, but also insightful, because I know that there'll be a lot of people that watch my videos and watch other people's videos in the space, and a lot of us have similar interests and similar tastes, and so understanding the content process and also understanding that where I get my inspiration from probably makes it easier to understand my direction. But also a lot of the things that happen, especially like in things like gardening or in fashion, you'll often see people doing a lot of the same things, because that is what generally happens. Like if I'm planting seeds in my greenhouse, 9 times out of 10, if you pop onto the Gardener's World website, they'll tell you exactly what seeds to plant right now. So if you're seeing one person planting seeds and the other person planting those same seeds, it's because that's what we're planting at this time of year. And that's just the way that the seed planting happens. But I would definitely recommend it if you are watching my channel and you're a content creator or you're an aspiring content creator. Look outside of the box, think differently, because there's nothing worse than coming online wanting to be someone who's already doing something. I think it's so much more authentic, you'll grow quicker, you'll find your rhythm quicker, and you'll enjoy it so much more if you come up with your own pillars of what really sets your heart on fire. And so I thought I would share with you a little bit of mine, but I've definitely given it another 10 minutes, so let's get that out of the freezer. Oh yeah, okay, oh crumbs. Oh, okay, I think we can whip that. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, it's actually got ice in it now. Oh, bloomin' heck. Have I done too much? Oh God. Well, it says to use a cake mixer. So let's give it a whirl. These things always scare me. Can I whip this body cream? Let's find out. Oh, you can see when it's gone a bit too hard. I have never been more proud in my life. So it's not green. It's not green, but it is thick and beautiful. It like melts. Now I've obviously, oh my God, I've obviously put more oil in this. Oh my gosh. So this takes away the sort of dry oil feeling of coconut oil, and I'm actually in shock right now. When I was looking at it, I was like, it kind of looks a bit like wax. Now it looks like a thick, rich body cream, and it feels amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I feel like I need a moment here. Just look at how rich that is. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna whip it a little bit more just to get all the ingredients in, and then I'm gonna put it in a jar. So it cools and goes hard very quickly. So you kind of need to get it in and smush it into the bowl and into the tub where you want it to go, because it is so light now. I'm going to do a few little tubs because I've got little like lip balm tubs. Wow, I can't believe this. These are some little tubs that I have. Now, obviously this doesn't have any fragrance to it because, well, it's got like a very neutral fragrance to it because I didn't use any essential oils because I don't want any irritants on my skin. And sometimes essential oils can irritate the skin, especially sensitive possums like me. Gosh, I could even do like a little stamp in the middle. Look at that. And I can put these in the freezer as well so that they keep for longer, because obviously it's all natural, no preservatives or anything like that. So you've got to be sure that you can you're not going to use loads of it all at once. Well, I will probably go through this very quickly. Look how many mini tubs I got. So I'm going to give a tub to Carrie tomorrow for her to try. Things I'm going to work on. First of all is testing it and seeing how it works on my skin. Do I need less of something else? Do I need more of something else? I'm going to put some on my legs because my legs are always the driest. I've got this to go upstairs, my little special pot, and then I can put the others in the fridge and just take them out as and when I need them. But so far it feels amazing. I think what I'm going to have to do is working out a way to get that fragrance without essential oils. That's the thing I really want to do because I want that immersive feeling, but it might just be that during summer I'll have to do a little bit of herb foraging or something. Anyway, I do feel like this has been the longest vlog in the world. I'm so sorry. I feel like I've got so much to tell you at the moment, but also weirdly sometimes I'm like, I feel like I've got nothing to tell you. I'm going to finish off my pantry later because I've got everything organized now and we've made so much space in there. I just need to redo the labels. I've linked my label maker down below. I am about, well, I can feel it coming, some really bad period pains, which I haven't had for a while, but this arrived today and I feel like this is the book that I need to read. So this is by the wonderful Jessica Shand, and oh my gosh, she is just exquisite. And basically she's written the book of my dreams. The Hormone Balance Handbook. Understand your hormones, take control of your cycle and nourish your whole body. This is probably one of those life-changing books, and she is a fantastic person to follow online as well for like recipe ideas as well. And she's just an all-round wonderful, wonderful person. If you're like me and you've had like PMDD and things like that, learning about your hormones is super, super important. It's one of the reasons why I'm like trying to find creams that I can use on a more day-to-day basis that don't have any chemicals in, to try and help with my body's own regulation of the chemicals that it produces itself, the hormones. So I'll link her book down below. I can't wait to get stuck in it. And I'm going to work on my little concoction here because honestly, these little tubs, like look at that. My own little whipped body cream. Well, I think the oil didn't give what I hoped for. I felt like the oil was going to give the colour and the fragrance and the sort of immersiveness of the cream, but it's still got lots of goodness in there. Coconut oil, shea butter, vitamin E oil and sweet almond oil. So very, very good. I'm going to go wax some on my legs now and chill. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.